25 years. And if you use this technique, it's a technique, it's a skill. It's very hard for a person to say no to you. So I'm going to share a technique with you. And there's 3 or 4 steps in that, and you follow that step. And don't go out of those till they say something which I'm going to tell you. Once they make that statement and they accept it, that's a home run for you. So would you like to know? Would you like to hear?
Yep.
Yes, we are waiting.
Yes.
Let's go.
Hey, Tony,
So
can
I'm
you
going to
tell
go
us?
step by step. Can I share the screen?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay, right here. Okay, I'm going to write it down. Huh? So this is for when you talking to a new person. So you need to have an agenda. Agenda means that you have 15 to 20 minutes only. So tell them straight that we're not going to talk this forever. It's not happening. Because if you don't have that, then it seems like I have nothing else to do. So people like to work with the people who are busy. So once you set the agenda, second thing, you need to know how to get to know them. Very important, get to know them. Once you do that, what this is telling you, their market. This is telling you how influential they are. I always do that because when I'm bringing this person into the business, I'm the one who's going to get stuck with that person. True or not?
True.
So it is
And Tony,
very,
what are
very,
some questions you ask to get to know them?
okay, I'm going to go over with that in a minute. Give me 1
Okay.
minute. Let me set the agenda, and then I'll tell you how I handle each area, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Once the third one you want to do it, you want to make sure you tell them this, what they want. You need to know what they want. So a lot of people give you the answers, or I want to help other people and I want to. No, you got to be very specific. And you get to a point where you need to say them, if this doesn't happen, would that bother you? What is that something is non-negotiable to you? This is what I'm looking for. For me, one thing was very, very clear to me. I wanted to make sure my daughters get very good education and have no debt. That was on a, I mean, I can stay hungry for 3 days, make sure I have the money for them. So that one, if you want to make me cry, you talk about my daughters, I will cry. So that is very important. What if that doesn't happen, would that bother you? That is their biggest why. Number 4, this is so important to me. I don't move without this anywhere. If you want this, what's the cost? You need to know what's the cost of what you're doing. The Matthew who was here yesterday, he started crying on this one. 37 years old man crying like a baby in front of, because this had to happen if it is done properly. Once you know the cost, and you should be able to know the cost, how you calculate the cost, let's say if it is college, go on a financial calculator and calculate the cost in future. So let's say the cost in the future, if the child is 6 years old and the child is going to 18, they go to University of Maryland. Let's say it's $107,000 in future. Then you calculate, let's say if it has 12 years to go to college, how much per month they need to save at what interest to achieve that goal. You got to crystal clear it. How much is going to be in future, how much you need to put aside every single month in order to achieve that. Once I know that, and let's say if they have 3 kids, 2 kids, so now they know there's over around $1,000. Can you write a check? Can you write a check for $1,000 a month starting yesterday, and that check cannot bounce? And 9 out of 10 answer is no, right? I cannot do that. Then the closing question is, whose children has a problem? So Shonda, whose kids have the problem?
I guess my kids have a problem.
Are you okay with that?
No, I'm not okay with that.
If he says not okay with that, can you go to your boss and tell them to give you $1,000 raise because it's so that can that happen there? No,
No,
no, it cannot happen there. Can you, how many hours you need to work to make $1,000 extra what you're doing right now?
I don't even want to think about it. I don't know. A whole lot.
Hold on. This is important. You cannot make more money. Shonda, do you like debt?
Who likes that? Actually, not.
You don't like to be in debt, do you?
No.
So if this money doesn't show up, who's responsible of putting their own child to debt?
Yikes. I would be.
Who's responsible of putting your own child to debt?
Would be me.
You know, that was the one thing I wanted to have, and that was the reason I came into this. I did not understand the finance, but I understood very clearly that I need extra $1,000 to make that happen. So may I ask you a question before I waste your time and my time?
Yes, that's fine.
Scale 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, Shonda. How serious are you in helping your child so that they can have a great education with zero debt?
10.
So if we could help you to achieve that, so your child can go to there, are you willing to learn something different? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let me share with you how we do that. That's my beginning. This is what I do on every interview. I would not move out of here. And at this point, at the end, I'm not interested in getting an IBA. I'm interested in meeting him again. I'm interested in meeting him again. I tell him about the IBA, but if he takes it, takes it. If he doesn't, I don't care. What I want to get into a point, number one, his FNA, his program, I'm interested in set some appointments with me. So that guy Matthew yesterday, I haven't taken his IBA yet. I have 3 appointments with him. That's my thinking. Know what you want. What's this going to cost you? If it is a retirement, you can calculate the retirement, the FIN number. Any questions?
So I have questions just because I'm trying to keep everything on track here for everybody. So when you talk about getting to know them, and the most thing is finding out about their market, finding out if they're influential, what type of questions do you ask in order to find out that information?
Okay. Sandra, when I met with you, you told me you wanted to become financially independent, correct? You told me you want to become financially stable. Is that still correct? Now, when it comes to financial, it's different to different people. What is doing better financially it means to you? What is that to Shonda? What does that mean?
Means not living paycheck to paycheck, not, struggling to pay bills, being able to save, being able to do, everything you need and most of the things you want.
Okay. So you grew up in this area?
Yes.
Big family?
Fairly.
So who do you go to, let's say on a Thanksgiving, Christmas? Where is the biggest gathering? Your grandma house, your home, your aunt house? Who's that?
Used to be my grandmother's, but now it's my aunt's house.
Now your aunt's house?
Mhm.
How many people show up there?
Too many people. We be sitting everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
She must have a big house.
No, she doesn't. That's why we be sitting everywhere.
Oh, so who does all the cooking?
Um, Mostly my aunts.
One aunt cooks
Some
for everybody.
some of my cousins. No, my grandmother used to cook for everybody, but
Who's the
now,
best cook?
no, my grandmother, but she isn't here. So
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But everybody usually cooks. All my cousins, my
So those
aunts.
are the things I'm finding out. How your market looking. So the aunt who's the most influential one, that's going to be my first appointment. That aunt is my first appointment because if I get aunt in, buy
Everybody else will
in,
follow. Yeah,
ball game over. Because now I have the most influential person, right?
that's a good one.
So you do this in your rapport right in the beginning when you're getting to know them. Once you have those things down, then you're home free. So I
Absolutely.
see it is your personality, like Ace says that. You say it differently. I say the same thing differently. Ace is going to teach the same thing in the same line, but he may say a little different. He has his own way of saying the things. I have my way of saying the things. But the agenda, I really believe that you got to have an agenda. That okay, this is what I'm going to then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that. Otherwise, your mind is all over the place. Like Shanda asked me right in the middle, hey, how about this part, right? Shanda, you just asked me. Hey, elaborate on number. What do you say on get to know them? Guess what did I say? Let me complete this, then I'll get back on that one. True?
Yeah.
If I started talking more about that when Shanda wants to know the answer, then I've been very, very distracted. I'm not saying I'm not going to answer that question. I will go back, but I want to make sure my what I want to do is done completely. Whether it's your
Understandable.
kitchen table appointment, whether it's a recruiting appointment, don't, whatever your agenda is, stick to that. All your question got to be handled at the back end. And sometimes what happens is the question they have during the presentation, that question is already answered. Is
Thank
that
you so
helpful?
much, Tony. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Tony,
Go ahead.
Tony, what was your first question? You had moved your paper up and I couldn't see it.
Get to know them.
Oh, okay, I thought that was number 2. Okay, thank
That
you.
the
Oh,
agenda
the
was
first
what he
one was
wrote.
an
Oh, the first
agenda,
one, the
Beth.
agenda. I'm sorry. The first
Beth,
one
he
is
wrote, set
agenda.
the agenda, get to know them. What do they want? What's the cost?
Yeah, I have to have an agenda.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
No, you're welcome, dear. Go ahead, Ace, buddy. Teach us.
All righty. What I'm going to do is, like Tony said, you have to have a series of questions, right? This is the goal of asking questions that Christian used to say that you respectfully disturb them, right? That's the whole goal of the presentation. But once you get through whatever you do, if it's a kitchen table or the video, we use the video. I'm going to share my screen, Matt.
Go ahead. I think you're allowed to. I'm pretty sure I made you a co-host.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to actually share with you my notes, okay? There's actually handwritten notes of questions that you got to ask that are disturbing, okay? In a dignified and polite way, okay? That's the whole goal. Let me share my screen. Let me screen 1, share. Okay, press play. Okay, so we already know this. You know, like I said, I went through the entire system of Jordan Belfort. I'm a practitioner, a master practitioner in neurolinguistic. It's all about human behavior. It's all about how do I get in their minds and how do I get them out of their own way. So questions are really, really important. So as you go down through the presentation, right? Just, you know, if you want to screenshot this, that's fine. This is from the Jordan Belfort system. You know, one thing that you got to be establishing throughout the entire presentation is you got to be a 10, the company's got to be a 10, and your products be a 10. And on top of that, you have to be looking sharp, enthusiastic, and come across as a figure of authority, right? So let's get to the questions real quick. So what happened, there's a buying scale. So remember this, the questions that you ask, there's a buying scale, right? And then so closing occurs, right, when you start tipping the scale. So you got to knock out beliefs and objections so that you can tilt the scale to your benefit. Okay, that's important, right? So it's not just, hey, you need life insurance, blah, 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 right? It's you're another salesperson in their mind. Yesterday, I had a lunch at the office for the building, and I met a lady who is a IUL whole life agent. Yeah, man, I love selling life insurance, stuff like that. And then I guess her boyfriend said, but don't you do more than life insurance, Ace? I said, yeah, I have 10 licenses, right? And so what we're always doing is to tip the buying scale, right? So the 3 ways to overcoming buying wounds, right? Is you got to create an airtight logical case for why it makes sense to buy now, right? To get started now. You got to create an airtight case emotionally, right? So for why it makes sense to get started now, you got to crack through clients' limiting beliefs, right? Remember, your mama told you don't sign anything, don't get started, right? That's why people say, I want to think it over, right? To get an immediate yes, you give them reason why to say yes and why to take actions, right? So let me go ahead and go to my notes that I never typed out, okay? So let's say it's a single person. So, um, Shonda, have you ever considered, right? Once I go through the presentation, right? And I go, there's three reasons why people don't have life insurance. They don't see a need for it. They think it's too expensive. They know it's important. They just never got around to it. So then the next set of questions, you got to start to start, hey, let's be straight up. Have you considered life insurance? Shonda, would you mind if I give you a brief education on why it's important to have it? Right? Gordon said it a few minutes ago. Would you mind if I hey, listen, Shonda, I'm going to talk to you now as a financial coach. Oh, sorry, these AIs reflect my hand gestures. Listen, Shonda, so the cost of life insurance is based on two things. What do you think those two things are, Shonda?
Um, well, I know life insurance cost has a lot to do with how old you are.
Okay, so that's exactly right. Number one is age. So, Shonda, let me ask you a question. Will you be younger in the future than you are today?
I wish, but no, it doesn't
Right.
work that way.
I know that's a loaded question, Shonda. So the older you get, the more expensive life insurance gets, right? That's just if they're giving you pushbacks. And I gotta I have ugly handwriting. So, the second question, what's the second reason, second way that you qualify for life insurance?
I'm not even sure.
So the second reason, the second way you qualify for life insurance, is health. Have you heard of people getting healthier as time goes on?
Usually not. Usually you get less healthy as time goes on.
So right now, Shonda, since you're so young, so if I can't get rid of this, meeting is recorded. So uh, go ahead and read it, Shonda, real quick. Oh, by the way, there we go. By the way, Shonda, who do you have your life insurance currently with right now?
You don't have any.
You don't have any. Um, so now you're taking me back to the straight line. Okay, so I go back
Oh,
to
so I'll say that we have some. We have it through. I had mine through MetLife.
MetLife. And how long have you had it through MetLife?
It's like a few years. I think a year and a half or so.
Year and a half? Well, first of all, congratulations. Most families that I meet don't have anything in place. Now, when you acquired this program, Shonda, what was the main reason for that program?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm through work, but then they were like offering supplemental, insurance and stuff, and I didn't see any reason not to get it, so I just, I got some.
Okay, so when you got it, did you get it for the benefits of the protection, or is it the type of life insurance that it's can pays you money back or something like that? Or both?
I don't even know, honestly. I just know that I have it. I paid for it. It comes out of my check, and that's really all I know.
Okay, so Shonda, let me ask you a question. Would you mind if I just talk to you like who I am, a financial coach?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So if you were to pass away tomorrow, again, how quickly would your income stop coming in?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And if the income stops coming in tomorrow, which of the bills stop coming in tomorrow?
All the bills still count.
They're still coming in. Are you and your husband codependent on your incomes?
Yes.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, and again, I'm not asking, I'll do that. We're going to do a thorough analysis, but I want to find out what they have first. So before I do, we guarantee you we're not going to ask you to change anything unless there's a go. But before we do that part of the straight line, here's what I'm going to ask him. Hey, by the way, if you don't mind me asking, how much income do you bring to the house?
So I bring in like 65 and he brings in like 130.
So 65 and 130. If you don't mind me asking again, how much is your coverage that you have in place right now?
I have 50.
50,000.
Yeah, I don't really know. I'm not sure. Yeah.
So let me ask you, Shonda, something as important as this, wouldn't you agree that's important to know how much coverage you have in place?
I think it's very important.
Because if you think you have 50, you might have 25, you might have 100. However, if you're bringing in 65,000 and you only have $50,000 in coverage, how long would that last you and your family if you were to die prematurely?
Well, that wouldn't last them long at all.
After funeral expenses, which by the way, in Maryland is 39,500.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, it don't sound like they would have anything left for the most part.
And so how would your family's future, your husband, let's say he passes away, he brings 130. How much coverage does he, well, let's pretend he's on. Bob, how much coverage do you have in place right now?
100,000.
100,000. So if you have 100,000 and he brings 130, how long would that last you and your family after funeral expense?
Not
And
even.
it's not lasting long either, not even a year.
So when you made a decision that you're gonna go ahead and protect your family, how did you come up with this coverage? How did you come up with 50 and 130,000, 100,000?
I don't know. I think that's just what they talked to us about, you know. I don't remember them asking us any questions. Maybe it was based on how much we could afford at the time or
I was
something.
just gonna ask you that. Did they based on how much you can afford? And
Probably.
so exactly. So when it comes to protecting your family, and I haven't even looked at, you might have a great program in place. However, I want you to think about those things that we have, for example, I got the iPhone 16 Max Pro, and I'll do this myself. I'll go like this. I have the iPhone Max 16, right? And so I have insurance on this. Why? Why do you think I have life insurance on my phone?
Because if it breaks or something happens to it, you don't want to pay for it.
Okay, so Shonda, what happened is the reason why I have this and not my 15, my 14 is because I went to the car, took my jacket off, left the phone on top of the car, and it's sitting somewhere on 270. Okay, so I needed my phone immediately because it's my business. Hey, Shauna, do you have a car? Right? And I do the car, and I do the same thing for the straight line. Do you have a car? So when it comes to life insurance, what are you doing to properly protect that your income is in place in the event of you and your husband Matthew is properly that you guys can continue your lifestyle. So if the income is not there, I'm just throwing questions, right? I don't have to think about it. I just throw a question. If the income is no longer there, how quickly would your lifestyle change?
Sure, immediately.
Immediately. And so you guys work really hard for your home. Would you agree?
Yes.
Again, guys, I'm just throwing questions.
Yeah,
You might not even have to ask. I'm just throwing questions. So how quickly would your income lifestyle change?
think
Immediately.
I think part of the issue here, or this is to amplify pain, right? And we're about to run out of time, so let's try to shut it down. But you got to you see how Ace can just ask 1,000 questions, Tony can ask questions, Christian asks a million questions. The point is to get good at questions, right? Just get good at questioning. For me specifically, a couple that I heard today, I think an awesome question that I never heard before, Ace, is are you and your husband codependent on your incomes? I think that's an incredible question. I think
Yeah.
that it's perfectly stated. I love it. Another one that you said is something as important as this. Don't you think it's important to know exactly what you have? Because you're going to run into people all the time. Like, I'm not exactly sure what I have, and sometimes it's almost combative to be like, well, what do you like best about it, or whatever. So that I think is a nice way, but still gets in. Don't you think it's important to know exactly what you have? And then another one that you didn't say, but what based on what you said, what I might have asked is, do you think it makes more sense to have what you need or what you can afford?
Hmm.
So I think the point of this is to amplify pain, and that's what we got to do. Is another thing you said in the beginning is to respectfully disturb people. So
Yeah.
that and the way that you do that is through questioning. That it
Yeah.
something that I've learned in appointments is sometimes I hear myself talking and I'm just like blabbering and talking too much, and then that's my key to stop talking and start asking questions. because then it puts it on them to start answering questions. And I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm defending myself. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right, Matt. And I know we're going to move over, but I do want to say this. I went through several Tom Hopkins boot camps, and when you go to his boot camp, he always compares our business to a lawyer. So if
Mhm.
you ever seen these shows like Law and Order and stuff like that, right? All they do is ask questions
Yep.
throughout the entire show,
Hmm.
right? To try to isolate, like Columbo, right? The old Law and Order show, right? You have to become great at asking questions versus telling people, and that way you disturb them respectfully, right?
Hmm.
I'm gonna say, hey, listen, the lady that I closed the other day, my app is frozen on virtual base shop, so it's not showing. But the lady, I go, listen, you and your husband, would you agree that you're codependent on each other's income? Yeah. You bring 8,500 bucks a month. You only have 50,000. She actually had 50,000 or 150,000. I'm like, 85,000 a month is $100,000 a year. So if you're not in the picture, what do you think is going to happen to him?
And that's if you can get good at asking those serious questions, that's why this business is hard. It's because most
Right.
people are afraid to say things like that to people.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
Ace,
yes.
do you remember in Tom Hopkins boot camp where he makes you sit there for about 5 minutes and you have to ask a question, and then based on that question, the next person has to ask a question. Like for example, I'll say, Ace, do you always wear a blazer?
You know what? I always wear a blazer because I want to come out as a professional. How come you're not wearing one?
Because I actually like to wear cardigans instead. Does your wife like to wear cardigans or blazers?
You know what? My wife always wears a blazer also. However, she likes wearing high heels and looking fresh, right? So my question to you is, when you sit with a client, what's your complete attire look like?
Well, it depends on whether I'm in Zoom or in person. If I'm on Zoom, I like to wear something business up the top and party down the bottom. But if I'm being professional, I wear the complete attire. I love to wear high heels though. Does she
Do you
normally get
dress
hers from
fully when you
Macy?
get on Zoom?
No,
Right.
that's
So it's just the concept of answering the question and then asking a question. And when you go to Tom Hopkins boot camps, that's one thing that like he takes 5 minutes or so out of his time and he makes you sit there and practice that with someone. Someone starts with a question, you answer the question, ask them a question, and you go back and forth with that and continue to go because it makes you think of questions off the top of your head that
I
you
mean,
can
I got
ask
a hundred, I
someone.
got 100 more
Be-
questions. I was gonna say, well, listen, you do most of your appointments on Zoom or in person,
Right. I do
right?
most of them on Zoom, but I used to do them in person. Do you like being in person better or do you like meeting over Zoom?
You know what? I like both simply because I can do business across the United States, but also I miss that interaction, that interpersonal connection with my client. And also allows me the ability to read their IQs because I love NLP. By the way, have you ever taken any kind of course on human behavior?
I've never taken a course on
All
human
right, we're
behavior,
done.
but
You see what I'm
This
saying?
can go
And
on
the last,
forever.
listen, remember, the last person that can't ask a question, that person
that
won.
person,
They
yeah,
lose.
that
That person
person's the
won.
loser.
Okay.
I
Mhm.
like this game better because you got to answer the question. Here at my house, we just play just the question game. So you don't really answer the question. You just ask a question back. It's the porcupine. But
The
I like
pork.
this better because you got to answer the question and then create a new question with
Yeah.
the answer. I like it. Good job, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's go
Most
over there
people
for a
spend
second.
most of their time like, yeah, da.
Yeah.
That's not professional sale. I saw a luxury car the other day. Um, in the license plate, it said, uh, always be selling. And
Yeah.
this guy was driving a $150,000 car, right? Always be selling, which I was like, man, that's it. Sales is asking questions.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's go back to the main room real quick.
Right on.
In one basket, it would be gone.
Yeah. Um, it's taking, honestly, when people have the time issue, they've usually been stuck themselves in the trading time for money quadrant. And that's why they say that. When you talk to people that are uber successful, yeah, I don't know what's going on, Allison. When you talk to people that are uber successful, they have time. That's one thing they've created for themselves is time when they understand these concepts. And you don't hear that from people that are very successful. I don't have the time. They might not give you the time, but they have the time. It's the people that have been stuck in the E quadrant and then they're in their paradigm. They don't know how to get out of that. And you could show them, hey, let me show you how to get out of that paradigm. If you ever want to have time again, if you want to leverage time rather than have your time be leveraged, let me show you how to do that. And that's like what Allison was saying. That's like getting into the more, or Hector even was showing that's more advanced. But that's a big dime to drop because it's true. And if you can't do that where you're at, and you can do it here, it would warrant sticking around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you're all back. Woo! How did it go over there? Everybody ready for pain points?
Oh, yeah, between Tony and Ace,
Oh,
we
yeah.
learned some good questions.
Yeah, and I was actually wondering, did you guys record that?
We did.
Because I would really like to watch it. That'd be good.
We recorded ours too. I don't know how it's coming back.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't know if this is my recording still going on or if it's yours, but I think we probably can stop this and see.
Oh, 100%.